My name is Claire Matthews, I'm 34 years old, and when I opened my husband's leather journal to page 47, I finally understood why I'd lost 8 babies in 5 years. The handwriting was neat, methodical, clinical even. Month 16. Another positive test. She's so happy she can't see straight. Started the new vitamins today, the ones from the organic bottle. Should be another 6 to 8 weeks before nature takes its course. She'll blame herself again. Perfect. I read that sentence 3 times before my brain would accept what my eyes were seeing. My husband David didn't just know about my miscarriages. He was causing them. I need to pause here for a moment. This story contains details about repeated pregnancy loss and emotional manipulation. If that's difficult for you right now, please take care of yourself first. I sat on the floor of his home office, that journal open in my lap, and I finally understood what I'd been fighting for all these years. I thought I was trying to save a baby, trying to save my chance at motherhood. But what I was really doing was trying to save a marriage to a man who'd been destroying me one pregnancy at a time. And I'd spent 5 years begging him not to leave me. If you've ever felt like something was wrong but couldn't name it, please leave a comment below. Your instincts matter more than you know. Let me take you back to the beginning because I need you to understand how someone like me, someone educated, someone careful, ended up married to a monster. I met David Hoffman when I was 27 years old. He was a pharmaceutical sales rep with an easy smile and a way of making you feel like the most fascinating person he'd ever met. He remembered small things. Your coffee order. The name of your childhood dog. The way you liked your eggs. I was a second-grade teacher in Westchester County. I'd wanted to be a mom my whole life. Not in a desperate way, just in a deep knowing way. The same way some people know they're meant to write or travel or build things. I was meant to be someone's mother. On our 3rd date, over Thai food in a restaurant with paper lanterns, I told him that kids weren't negotiable for me. He reached across the table and took my hand. Claire, I can't wait to build a family with you. His eyes were so steady, so sincere. I believed him completely. Why wouldn't I? Everything about him seemed right. We got married 14 months later in October, in a renovated barn in upstate New York with string lights and wildflowers everywhere. My best friend Sarah gave a toast about how David looked at me, like she hung the moon and painted the stars. I felt so incredibly lucky. We started trying for a baby on our honeymoon in Maine. I got pregnant 6 weeks after the wedding. I bought a onesie that said, "Made with love and a little bit of magic." I downloaded 3 different pregnancy apps. I took photos of my still flat stomach in the mirror, imagining the curve that would grow there. David seemed excited too. He'd rest his hand on my belly and say things like, "Hey in there, it's your dad." At 8 weeks I woke up bleeding. The ER doctor was kind but matter-of-fact, young with tired eyes. Miscarriages are more common than people realize. 1 in 4 pregnancies. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. David held my hand through the whole thing. He drove me home at 3 in the morning. He called my principal and told her I needed a few days. He brought me flowers the next day. Daisies, my favorite. "We'll try again," he whispered, stroking my hair. "As many times as it takes, okay? We're going to be parents, Claire. I promise." I nodded against his shoulder, crying so hard I thought I'd break apart. What I didn't know then was that this was exactly the outcome he wanted. 3 months later I was pregnant again. This time I was cautious. No announcements, no onesies. Just quiet, fragile hope that I kept close to my chest. 10 weeks it happened again. More bleeding. Another ER visit. Another doctor with the same tired speech about how common this was. David found me afterward on the bathroom floor, still in my hospital bracelet. He called my mom. He scheduled the follow-up appointment. He picked up my prescription for the pain. "You're grieving," he said softly. "Let me take care of everything else." So I did. The 3rd miscarriage came at 7 weeks. The 4th at 9. By then, my OBGYN Dr. Patel was concerned enough to start running tests. Hormone panels. Genetic screening. Ultrasounds of my uterus and ovaries. Blood work for clotting disorders. Everything looks completely normal, she said, her forehead creased with confusion. Your body should absolutely be able to carry a pregnancy to term. David sat beside me in the paper gown, his face the picture of supportive concern. So why does this keep happening to her? He asked, his voice tight with what I thought was pain. Dr. Patel shook her head slowly. Sometimes we just don't have answers. Recurrent miscarriage is heartbreaking and complex, but statistically, most women in Claire's situation do eventually have a successful pregnancy. Most women. I clung to those two words like they were a lifeline. We'll keep trying, David said in the car on the way home. His hand was warm on my knee. You're going to be an amazing mother, Claire. I know it in my bones. I should have felt comforted. Instead, I felt pressure. Like I was failing some test I didn't know I was taking. But I pushed that feeling down deep. The fifth pregnancy lasted 12 weeks. Long enough that I let myself believe. Long enough that I told my students I'd be taking maternity leave in the spring. Long enough that David and I painted the spare bedroom a soft buttery yellow. I bought a crib, white with clean lines. We assembled it together on a Saturday, laughing when we couldn't figure out the instructions. Our kid's first lesson, David joked. Mom and Dad aren't great with directions. Kid. When I lost that baby 2 weeks later, something inside me shattered in a way it hadn't before. I stopped showering regularly. Stopped answering Sarah's texts. I took a leave of absence from school because I couldn't look at my second graders without feeling like my body was a graveyard. David stepped up even more. He'd come home from work trips with my favorite Indian takeout. He'd run me baths with lavender oil. He'd hold me on the couch while I cried through entire movies I wouldn't remember. I don't know if I can do this again, I told him one night, my voice hollow. His whole face fell. He looked devastated. Claire, don't say that. Please. We're a team, remember? We can't give up on our dream. Maybe my body is trying to tell me something. Your body is fine, he said more firmly. Dr. Patel ran every test. You heard her. This is just terrible, terrible luck. Then he pulled me close, and I could feel his heartbeat against my cheek. What if we try one more time, he whispered. Just one more. And if it doesn't work, we'll talk about other options. Adoption, surrogacy, whatever you want. But let's not give up yet. I was so tired. So desperate to keep him. To not be the broken wife who couldn't give him what he wanted. So I said yes. Pregnancy number 6 ended at 8 weeks. Number 7 at 6. I turned 33 years old, and I'd been pregnant 7 times. I had no living children. I started having panic attacks in Target when I'd accidentally walk past the baby section. I deleted Instagram because I couldn't see one more gender reveal or first birthday party. My mom started saying things like, "Honey, maybe it's time to consider that there are other ways to be a mother." I'd hang up on her. David would find me after those calls, phone still in my shaking hand. "She doesn't understand what we're going through," he'd say, rubbing my back. "But I do. I see how hard you're fighting for us." Fighting. That's exactly what it felt like. Fight I was losing. But I was fighting the wrong enemy. The 8th pregnancy happened last October. By then, I didn't feel hope when I saw the positive test. Felt dread. Like I was signing up for another round of torture. David, though. David seemed almost energized. "8th time's the charm, right?" he said with this huge grin, kissing my forehead. Something about his smile made my stomach turn. But I told myself I was just traumatized. That I was projecting my fear onto him. 2 weeks later, David started bringing home these expensive prenatal vitamins. The bottle was sleek and white, minimal labeling, very pharmaceutical looking. "My company just started carrying these," he explained. "They're medical grade. Way more bioavailable than the drugstore brands. I want you to have the best." I held the bottle, uncertain. Shouldn't I check with Dr. Patel first? He laughed, but there was an edge to it. "Claire, I literally sell medical-grade supplements for a living. I think I know what's safe for pregnant women." "I know, but do you trust me or not?" The question hung in the air. Of course I trust you. Then take the vitamins. Let me help you. So I did. Every single morning with breakfast. Like a good wife. Like a woman who was trying to save her marriage along with her baby. At 9 weeks I started cramping at school. I knew immediately. Your body learns the signs after the first few times. I didn't even cry. I just drove myself to Dr. Patel's office. This time I didn't call David right away. I sat in my car in the parking lot afterward and stared at nothing. When I finally got home, David was standing in the kitchen like he'd been waiting. Again? He asked quietly. He nodded. He pulled me into a hug, but something felt wrong. His heart wasn't racing. His breathing was completely steady. He wasn't surprised. Not even a little. I think we need to stop, I whispered into his chest. He went very still. Stop trying. Stop everything. David, this is killing me. I can't keep doing this. His jaw tightened for just a second. Then his face softened into concern again. Let's not make any big decisions right now. You're in shock, sweetheart. Let's just get through tonight. But I wasn't in shock. For the first time in 5 years, my head felt strangely clear. 2 days later, I called Dr. Patel's office without telling David. I want every test you can possibly run, I told her. Everything. Something is wrong and I need to know what it is. She ordered panels I'd never even heard of. Autoimmune markers. Advanced clotting disorders. Environmental toxin screening. 3 weeks later she called me back. Claire, I've been over these results a dozen times with 2 colleagues. You are perfectly, completely healthy. There is no medical reason you should be experiencing recurrent pregnancy loss at this level. I felt like I was losing my mind. Then why is this happening to me? I don't know, she admitted, and I could hear the frustration in her voice. But I want you to consider environmental factors. Like what? Stress, yes. But also potential exposure to toxins, certain medications. Even some supplements can interfere with early pregnancy development if they're contaminated or if they contain herbs that affect hormones. My heart started pounding. I don't take anything except the prenatals David brings home from work. There was a long pause on the line. The ones from his pharmaceutical company? Yes. Claire. Her voice changed. Can you bring me that bottle? I'd like to see exactly what's in it. Something cold crawled down my spine. Okay, I whispered. I hung up and went straight to the bathroom cabinet. The white bottle was gone. I tore apart the bathroom, the bedroom, the kitchen cabinets. Nothing. My hands were shaking when I walked to David's home office, a room I almost never entered because he said he needed it for work calls and concentration. I opened his desk drawer. There it was. The white bottle, hidden under a stack of folders. And next to it a journal. Brown leather. Expensive looking. The kind you'd buy at a specialty stationery store. My hands were trembling when I picked it up. I told myself I was just looking for information about the vitamins. That this wasn't snooping. But when I opened to the first page and saw my name written over and over in David's neat handwriting, I couldn't stop reading. Page 1. Claire doesn't suspect anything. She's so focused on fixing her broken body she can't see what's right in front of her. My stomach dropped. Page 12. Another positive test. She actually thanked me this morning for being so patient. This is almost too easy. Page 23. Her mother asked her today if maybe I should get tested. If maybe I'm the problem. Claire defended me immediately. She always does. She always will. I flipped faster. Page 36. She stopped going to her book club. Stopped responding to Sarah's invitations. Soon it'll just be the 2 of us. The way it should be. And then I got to page 47. The one I told you about at the beginning. Month 16. Another positive test. She's so happy she can't see straight. Started the new vitamins today, the ones from the organic bottle. Should be another 6 to 8 weeks before nature takes its course. She'll blame herself again. Perfect. I couldn't breathe. I read it again. And again. Then I read the entire journal cover to cover. 73 pages of my husband documenting how he was systematically destroying me. He'd never wanted children. He'd lied on our third date. He'd lied at our wedding. He'd lied in every hospital room and every doctor's office. He liked me weak, liked me isolated, liked me so desperate to fix myself that I never looked at him. She's completely stopped seeing her friends now, he wrote on page 51. She barely leaves the house except for doctor appointments. I've never felt more in control. On page 63, if she ever gets suspicious, I'll suggest couples therapy. Make it about her mental health, her inability to cope. She's so desperate to be fixed, she'll believe anything I tell her. On page 70, sometimes I think about just leaving, but this is too good. She needs me. She'll never leave me. I've made sure of it. I don't remember putting the journal down. I don't remember taking my phone out. But I took photos of every single page. Then I called Sarah. I need you to come get me, I said. My voice sounded far away. Right now. And don't ask questions. Just come. She heard something in my voice. I'm leaving right now. 10 minutes. I threw clothes in a bag. My laptop. My grandmother's engagement ring that I kept in my jewelry box. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter. I was in Sarah's car when David got home. She told me later that he called her phone 17 times that night. Finally she answered. Is Claire with you? His voice was frantic. She's not answering her phone. I'm really worried, she's been so unstable lately. Unstable. The word he'd been carefully planting for years. She's safe, Sarah said coldly. And she's not coming back. She hung up. I stayed at Sarah's apartment for 3 days before I could think clearly enough to make a plan. She helped me find a lawyer. Patricia Chen specialized in cases involving coercive control and intimate partner abuse. What you're describing, Patricia said carefully. If you can prove he tampered with medication or gave you substances that caused your pregnancy losses, that's not just emotional abuse. That could be assault. Depending on the state and the evidence, possibly more. I showed her the photos of the journal on my phone. She went completely still as she scrolled. Claire, she said slowly. Do you still have access to the house? Technically yes. He keeps texting that he just wants to talk. Don't go alone. But I need you to get those vitamins. We need to have them tested. Sarah came with me. We went on a Tuesday afternoon when David's calendar said he had a regional sales meeting 3 hours away. We took the white bottle from his desk. We also took the physical journal, wearing gloves like Patricia told us to. Patricia sent the pills to a private lab that specialized in forensic analysis. The results came back 6 days later. The vitamins had been cut with compounds known to disrupt embryonic development in early pregnancy. I won't name them here because no one needs that information. But they were intentional. They were precise. And they were traceable to David's company's supplier records. Patricia reported everything to the police. They opened an investigation. David was arrested at his office on a Thursday morning. I wasn't there, but his co-worker Emma called me. We'd been friendly before I'd disappeared into my grief. Claire, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. He'd make these jokes sometimes about you being baby crazy, about how he had to manage your expectations, but we just thought he was venting. I wanted to be angry at her. At all of them for not seeing it. But I understood. He was so good at this. The prosecutor assigned to the case was a woman named Linda Ortiz who'd handled medical abuse cases before. She built a case around the journal entries, the lab results, and David's access to the compounds through his work. David's lawyer tried to claim I'd fabricated everything. That I was a mentally unstable woman who'd created an elaborate story because I couldn't accept my own infertility. But the journal had David's fingerprints. His handwriting. The ink was dated correctly. The compounds in the pills matched his company's inventory. And then Linda found 3 other women. 3 women David had dated seriously before me. All 3 had experienced unexplained miscarriages while in a relationship with him. They'd never connected the dots. Why would they? They'd moved on, heartbroken but assuming it was just bad luck. Now they testified. David took a plea deal rather than go to trial. He was sentenced to 6 years for assault and reckless endangerment. His parents sent me messages calling me a vindictive liar who'd ruined their son's life. I blocked all of them. The divorce was finalized 4 months ago. I got the house, the savings, my freedom. But here's what I really got back. The ability to trust myself. 'Cause the signs were there. They were always there. The way he'd seem almost excited after each miscarriage, then quickly cover it with sympathy. The way he isolated me so gradually I didn't notice until I had no one left. The way he'd get tense whenever I talked about stopping, about adoption, about any path forward that didn't include me staying broken and dependent. My body knew something was wrong. But I'd been taught that love means trusting your partner. That marriage means staying and trying harder. That if you just loved someone enough, it would all work out. No one ever taught me that sometimes the most dangerous person in your life is the one holding your hand in the hospital. It's been a year now since I found that journal. I'm back to teaching full-time. I see a therapist twice a month who specializes in complex trauma. I've reconnected with Sarah and my book club and my mom. I don't know if I'll ever try to have a baby again. Some days I think I want to. Some days I'm at peace without it. What I do know is this. I spent 5 years trying to save a marriage to a man who was poisoning me. I thought I was fighting for my dream of motherhood. But what I was really fighting for was my right to exist as a whole person again. The fertility industry, the mommy blogs, the baby shower invitations, they all tell us that motherhood is the ultimate purpose. The greatest love. The thing that will complete us. And for some of us it is. But it should never cost us ourselves. I'm Claire. I'm 35 now. I've lost 8 pregnancies, but I found something more important. I found my way back to myself. If something feels wrong in your relationship, even if you can't name it, even if everyone thinks you're lucky, even if you love him, please listen to that small voice inside you. It's not paranoia. It's not hormones. It's not you being difficult. It's your survival instinct, and it's trying to save your life. What's one time you trusted your gut even when everyone else told you not to? I'd really love to hear your story in the comments below.